Welcome to another devlog for Punch a Bunch. It's my very first game I'm making, and this series is sort of documenting my journey to creating my first game. Last episode, I created a bunch of bosses for the game, and I want to make sure that it's really rewarding to the player to actually defeat these bosses. So this time, I want to focus on creating a bunch of fun collectibles that you can unlock by, defeating bosses, unlocking specific achievements, and maybe finding some hidden secrets in the game. It's something that I really enjoy when I play other people's games, so I think it's important to try to add things that you love about other games into your own games. I've gotten a lot of work done over the past couple of months, and I'm really excited to show you the updates. I hope you enjoy the video. Let's dive right in. The next thing on my to-do list is creating a proper menu system. Okay, so we have the main menu screen, but apart from that, we don't have anything, meaning we don't have any options. There's no way to get in or out of the game. There's no way to launch your career, create a profile, select which opponent you want to fight against. Basically nothing, and that's a problem. Now, a menu isn't the most fun part about making a game, but unfortunately, every game has to have one. Now, I thought a menu, easy. That's gonna take a week max? I like to think ahead, so why don't I just give myself 2 weeks? That's double what I thought it would take, just to give myself a bit of a buffer. Yeah, not quite. I started off creating this diagram of every single menu that absolutely has to be in the game, just so that I can get a good overview of what needs to be done. I'm anticipating the character customization to be by far the most difficult part of this whole menu, so that's where I want to start. If I can do this, the rest should come pretty easy, I'm hoping. What I'm talking about here is the menu where you can customize your character and change out hats, gloves, colors, and all that fun stuff. Now, I already started work on this way back. It looks bad, it doesn't really work very well, it's very hacky and not very modular, so I'm definitely gonna have to start over. The first thing I want to do is to just come up with what this screen should ultimately look like. My wife has been playing a lot of Animal Crossing lately, and I've noticed that the interface is really clean, simple, readable. I really like it, and I think that something like this could definitely work in Punch a Bunch. It's perhaps a little bit too cartoony, but I think it's a really great place to start, and to do this in Unreal Engine is hugely time consuming and it's going to be a waste of time. So I'm just going to move over to Photoshop and try to come up with a design that I like, and then we're going to try to move that over and implement it in Unreal Engine. It's going to be way quicker, more fun, and just easier overall. In the end, I came up with something like this, which I think is pretty good. I'm definitely scared of implementing this in Unreal Engine. I don't know if I'll be able to even do this, but luckily we did all of this during a live stream, and some of you were super helpful, and I could not have done this without you. After I finally got this menu to actually work so that you can swap items out, click on buttons, switch categories, I started working on actually bringing what we did in the Photoshop document into this menu. Oh boy, it took a long time. Those 2 weeks I was talking about earlier, yeah, let's not talk about that. Anyway, so now that we have this system in place, I only see one thing missing, and it's more unlockables. So I think it's time we create some collectible items, which is really why you clicked on this video in the first place. The weeks have definitely dragged on working on all of this, but it was really refreshing to work on something that I feel really familiar with. I had a blast making these items, texturing them, and coming up with ideas. I also started working on some belts. I figured when you win a championship, you should win a belt, like in real boxing, right? And I want it to be a really satisfying experience, so I wanted to spend a bit of extra time really making these belts look cool. Although the amateur series belt obviously needs to look less cool than the one you get for beating the more difficult ones, so there's gonna be a bit of a balance. I'm pretty happy with how the items are turning out, especially the belts. I think the final result definitely exceeds my expectation. So when you beat the Amateur series, you'll be rewarded with your victory belt, which looks like this. I definitely want it to look good, but like I mentioned before, I don't want it to look too good. So I feel like I found a fairly good balance with this one. And so then when you beat the Intermediate series, you'll get this belt, which is a little bigger, has a little bit more details on it. At least personally, I feel like it looks quite a bit better than the first belt. And then when you beat the Pro series, you'll be awarded with this Onyx belt. And this one looks super cool, at least I think. It's a lot bigger and just feels overall more champion-esque, if that's a word. And then because I thought it looked cool, I also made this white version of this belt because I thought it looked cool. I don't know. I figured it could be some sort of special award if you beat the Pro series in a certain amount of time or without taking any health or, you know, something like that. I probably have to go back and do a special belt for all the series now, come to think of it. Anyways, I'm really happy with them. I think it looks really cool. I've got a ton of other items as well. Made a lot of hats. Got the banana hat, some sort of emperor crown, got a karate belt, and one of my favorites is this pirate hat. I really like it. It turned out great. So I made a whole set for this one, so you can get the eye patch and the belt and be a full pirate. I'm probably also gonna add a wooden leg because I think that could be really funny. I just haven't had time to do it yet, but it's coming, it's coming. Ninja Turtle stuff, and you know, I like to go skiing, so standard shades. And if you want to become Harry Potter, you can become Harry Potter or the Monopoly guy. Anyways, you guys get the idea, but I think you can really come up with some really fun combinations here, and that's really the point, that I want you to be able to make your character feel like your own. So leave a comment with some items that you want to see in the game down below, baby. It's also really good for that algorithm juice, if you know what I mean. One thing that I still need to work on are making more shorts. I only have these 3, and I mean, it's really just textures, so definitely something that's on the to-do list. I had so much fun making these. It's so great, and it's pretty quick too, actually. And for the 3 people wondering how I created these icons, well, let me show you. I'm actually really proud of this system, so I'm gonna show it to you. So first I was thinking like, okay, how do I make these icons? Do I need to render them in Blender and then create a Photoshop file and, you know, blah, blah, blah. But no, it's much better than that. So I've created this scene in Unreal Engine where we can put this item, and I can adjust the lighting a little bit to fit the item well. And then all I gotta do is just export a screen grab, and ta-da, I get a nice little icon. I'm really happy that I'm able to actually get it from Unreal Engine because it really makes it look exactly like the actual item. If you render it in Blender, it's just not gonna look right. Cool. Just a couple of menus left. I wanted to continue working on the career menu and just finish that whole portion up. I had learned so much creating that character customization screen that I felt pretty confident moving forward with the rest of the menus. I came up with something like this with just a simple clean menu hovering in the air with a 3D thing in the background. I was gonna do something fun with a pegboard here, put something on it, but in the end I decided to just get rid of it. It was confusing and I think it just makes more sense without it. It might seem simple to create a menu, it's just a few buttons here and there that you click on, but it's actually a lot more complicated than I expected. Just getting everything to work, loading the right things into the game, it's not crazy difficult, but it's just more work than I thought. So this is where you would choose what championship to join. So you click on the thing you want to join and it'll take you to the screen where it shows you the next opponent. And we're gonna put some text here on the left and some fun image. I don't really know what yet, but we'll come up with something. Once you've beaten your opponent, it'll take you back to the next opponent screen and display the next opponent. And I think that's pretty cool. It's super modular. It's all automatic. I don't have to do anything manual. So all I gotta do now is just create more championships. Obviously, I want to add some cutscenes in between and make things a little bit more fun, but I think for now this is really, really good, and it provides a great foundation for me to just add some of that niceness to it. Alright, so you might have noticed how every single menu in the game basically looks very different right now. Obviously, that's not a good thing. However, it is actually a little bit intentional. So every single menu looks like it's from a different game. The main menu has the epic pegboard and that stuff, the character customization, which looks like Animal Crossing, and then we have this new career menu that I'm working on that looks completely different from the other two. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm searching to try to find something that works with the game. I'm trying to find something that has a similar design philosophy that reflects the game. And up until now, I haven't really felt like I found it. So with every new menu that I create, I'm just trying something different. This way, I'm actually making progress. I'm not just stuck on, recreating the same menu with different designs, but I'm actually making progress, implementing features, trying things, and just kind of feeling my way forward. With this new career menu, I feel like we're very close. I'm feeling really good about this one. So I'm thinking, now that we found this, all I need to do is just go back and try to implement this back in the other menus. I started off by just changing out the color scheme, moving from that brownish color to that more saturated blue we have in the career menu. I'm hoping that will bridge the gap between the two menus. And while that looks good, I think the biggest offender right now is that white background. So I tried switching that out to that blue infinity cove I'm using in the other menu, and I really think that this settled it. It looks a little strange at first, very saturated and blue and right in your face, but after spending some time with it, I feel like it's really looking pretty good and it really works well with the game. I don't know if it's too much. What do you guys think? I think it's pretty good. Switching back and forth between menus now feels pretty natural, and it feels like we're in the same universe, if you know what I mean. And while I'm in here, something that's been bugging me is the pose of the character. He's standing in a standard A pose and it's not looking very fun. So I wanted to add some animations to this character, but the problem is that I'm not a very good animator, so that's a problem. However, I'm gonna be using a site that probably most of you know about, but it's called Mixamo, where you can download free animations. Now, I've never used this service before, and let me tell you, it's amazing. I was a bit worried that the animations wouldn't work with my rig because I created my own custom rig for my character, but all I needed to do was to just upload my own model to the site, and it just somehow figured out how to apply their animations to my little dude. Okay, that's enough. So now I can just download whatever animation I want, pop them into Unreal Engine, and it's done. And I'm amazed. So now I'm not scared of animation anymore. I can just grab it all from here. So huge tip on your next project if you're looking for animations. I'm feeling really good about this. I think it really came together well. I like the way it looks. I think the animation really helped a lot. I left the card color yellow. It has a nice contrast to the background, but I might change it. I'm not quite sure yet. What do you think? You let me know what you think. I'm gonna celebrate with a little grape. Yum. I also set up this simple options menu. It doesn't have a lot in it yet, but it's super simple for me to add more options, and it saves everything you do to your local save file, so everything is stored, and that includes everything else as well, actually, your costumes and all that stuff. I also set up a profile system so that many people can play the game on the same device. Nothing about these things were super complicated. I felt pretty confident setting all these things up, but again, it just takes so much time just figuring things out, and it's so easy to get stuck on a tiny little thing that ends up taking a whole day. But so far, things have been pretty smooth with the rest of the menu, I gotta say. I still need to make sure that the main menu fits more into the universe we created for the career menu, but I'm not feeling too stressed out about that. I know we can get it looking right, and it is functionally working, and that's all I really care about right now. And I do feel like we have bigger fish to fry. The game is pretty hard to play, and it desperately needs some sort of tutorial or training. So that is gonna be at the next of my to-do list. Creating a fun, engaging way for a player to actually learn how to play the game properly. Hey, thanks so much for watching the video. I really appreciate it. If you haven't wishlisted the game on Steam yet, then please go ahead and wishlist then please go ahead and wishlist Punch a Bunch on Steam. It's on Steam. We're so close to releasing our first game, guys, which is just incredible. And so please go ahead and wishlist Punch a Bunch on Steam for that sweet extra algorithm juice. Also, just huge thanks to everybody. We just hit 100,000 subscribers on the channel, which is huge. So
huge thanks to everyone goes out. I really appreciate it. It means the world. And yeah, it was awesome to see you. Hope to see you again soon in the next video. Until then, bye bye.